The reason that Bomb First and Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. tried to fraudulently take down my videos is because Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. knows under Nevada state law that he was negligent in the death of 2Pac Shakur on September 7th, 1996. Not because of what I say, but because of the law. Let's get into some of this straight game.
Life is like some cards. It's not what you dealt, but how you play it. Play each situation correctly. I remember they used to laugh at a brother.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. It's your boy DELRAY, Richardson, platinum artist, platinum songwriter, Straight Game TV. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate your time. Do me a favor. Hit the thumbs up button. Also, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And like I always say, if you want to be one of the first people notified when I drop some of this straight game, please do me a favor and click on what appears to be that little bell notification right below this video. I'm going to get right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you the reason that Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. and Gullible John over at Bomb First tried to take down my videos. And the reason is Reggie the Rat Wright Jr., and I'm going to show you with the law, the statute, the prongs of what this really means. Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. knows for a fact that he was negligent and complicit in the death of 2Pac Shakur and in the assault on Suge Knight in Las Vegas on September 7th, 1996. We're going to get into it. For the last couple of years, you've heard Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. Touting about who should be arrested involved in the murder of 2Pac Shakur. He talked about who he thought was involved with he actually, well, not only that, but he actually implicated Suge in saying that Russell Poole had got it right when Russell Poole said who was responsible for the death of the notorious B.I.G. Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. had said that, right? This is what he said. And he said that on Vlad's channel. If you want to go check out this video, here it is, right? And so, with all of that being said, the thing that Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. had left out was, in pointing the finger at Suge, by vicariously through the way of through Russell Poole, if you will, right? The one thing that Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. forgot was that he was the head of security that night in Vegas, and he failed to do his job. Now, I've told you, 2Pac fired Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. on August 27th, 1996 as his personal security. At one time, Reggie the Rat Wright Jr.'s company, Right Way Protective Services, was moonlighting as 2Pac's personal security. 2Pac said on August 27th, 1996, he did not any longer want that to be the case, and sent a fax through Yasmin Fula, right, firing Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. and his company, Right Way Protective Services, as his personal security, right? What that did not do was that did not take away the fact that Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. and his Right Way Protective Services was still employed by Death Row to protect 2Pac and all of the other artists under the label doing business time and events that involved Death Row record business, right? Facts. So now, when you understand that, you're going to understand that in Las Vegas that night, when 2Pac and Suge was shot at, and prior to that, before the fight, before the fight with Orlando Anderson, I'm saying, before the fight, there was a duty for Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. and his Right Way Protective Services to be protecting Tupac, right? But not only that, there was a request made by Suge Knight at that particular time, according to Suge, that Suge said he called Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. and said to send 5 more security guards for Tupac, and that Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. refused that and did not send anybody.
See, the thing is, those guys, if you go back and watch the film, they was already stalking Pac. They were watching him. So that just tipped the iceberg when something happened. But there was a plan already to do something to him.
Yeah.
And that's why, like I said, I had 2 of the toughest guys for him, and Reggie pulled them off of me. And after it happened, I told him to send 5 guys from the club to there, and they never said nobody.
Just the other day, Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. and Bomb First made a video regarding and saying that if Keefe D is convicted for the murder of Tupac Shakur or being involved in the murder of Tupac Shakur, that Sean Puffy Combs should be sued by the estate. Right? This is what Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. is suggesting. And he's also saying that he's going to do everything in his power to make sure that that happens, and working with various people, he's saying allegedly, including the estate. Well, I got a suggestion. While Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. is lobbying and pressing for people to be arrested and regarding Tupac Shakur, who did not like Reggie the Rat Wright Jr., and because Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. was a chatty patty and putting out Tupac's business when he would have some of his security guards on Tupac when he worked as his personal security, that was partially the reason that Tupac fired him, among other things, right? So while Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. is doing all of this, putting his effort and his energy behind people being arrested, what he has not done is taken accountability. But I'm going to show you under the law, right? Whereas Reggie the Rat Wright Jr., by disobeying what Suge Knight told him that night in Las Vegas and sending more security for Tupac, is negligent and complicit in the death of Tupac Shakur. Let me get into it. Now, I want you to check this out and follow me closely, because I'm going to state nothing but facts. We're in Nevada, right? September 7th, 1996. Negligence law in Nevada. Follow me. Negligence is the basis for most civil cases, although an individual or company can be criminally negligent as well. The civil law of negligence is based upon the concept that a reasonably prudent person should act in a certain way. Negligence is the result of an individual or entity, Right Way Protective Services, individual, Reggie the Rat Wright Jr., failing to fulfill a duty owed and falling below the standard of care by not acting as a reasonably prudent person would. Right? Was it unreasonable for Suge to ask for more security for Tupac? No. Was that request by Suge Knight obeyed? No. But let me get into it. The bottom line of negligence law is that the individuals, Reggie the Rat Wright Jr., and companies, Right Way Protective Services, must exercise reasonable care and consider foreseeable harm that may cause to others. Right? So that would be in Tupac and having 5 more security. That would be in Tupac protecting Tupac from others, as well as protecting Tupac actually from himself, based on the fact that he was an asset, we thought at that time an asset of Death Row, but contractually asset of Interscope, Warner Brothers, Death Row, and they were all under the same umbrella. Correct? Right. So now, want you to understand something. There are three prongs, right, to prove negligence. 3 prongs. Listen to this. To prove negligence, the injured person must show that his or her injuries were caused by the act or failure to act of another individual or company, right? Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. and his Right-Way Protective Services failing to obey the direct order of Suge Knight to send more security was failing to act, right? And the injuries of 2Pac Shakur were a result of that failure to act. Period. Like I said, once again, protecting 2Pac from himself as well as 2Pac from others. Listen, proving negligence has 3 prongs. In other words, the injured person must show that it is more likely than not, i.e., a preponderance of the evidence that what? Number 1, the defendant had a duty to the injured person. It is in fact a fact that Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. was hired by Death Row to protect the artist. Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. even bragged about my security was with him in New York, the MTV Music Awards, based on the fact that that was part of Death Row's business and award shows, things like that. You know, you have to do that. That's a contractual obligation based on the fact, you know, dealing with his contract with Interscope and them letting him go over to Death Row. That is a contractual obligation. 2Pac, he's nominated, he has to be there, and therefore Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. and Right-Way Protective Services, Reggie bragged about it, said, you know, my company was there, right? Number 2, the number 2 prong, the defendant's act or failure to act was not reasonable and caused the injured person's injuries. And 3, the injured person suffered some form of injury as to be entitled to damages. Now, the second, the defendant act or failure to act was not reasonable. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Once again, Suge Knight had requested that he send more security guard. Not only that, Frank Alexander basically had said that he told Reggie that they would need more security. And Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. did not send it. Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. did not send it because he was fired by 2Pac and he was mad. But he was still an employee under Death Row, assigned to protect the Death Row artists at the request by his boss, Marion Suge Knight, and he failed to do so. The third, the injured person suffered some form of injury as to be entitled to damages. So, Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. just made a video and said that if Keefe D goes to jail or was convicted, that Sean Puffy Combs should be sued civilly, right? He made that statement. But Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. knows for a fact, and we know for a fact by Suge Knight's statement, something that we probably would have never known if Suge wouldn't have said it, right? That Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. was negligent that night in Las Vegas, failed to obey a direct order by Suge, and due to that failure, 2Pac Shakur and Suge Knight was shot at, Suge was injured, and 2Pac was killed. So while Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. is out here on his soapbox, acting as if he is some kind of ally of 2Pac Shakur, or he cared about 2Pac Shakur, that can't be further from the truth than anything that you've ever heard him say. I want you to understand that. And so, when we're looking at the facts and we're looking at the law of negligence, let's get into causation. What is causation? What does causation mean, right? Causation. Causation means that but for the defendant's acts or failure to act when there was a duty to do so, injury would not have occurred. In other words, because the defendant did something or failed to do something he or she should have done, someone was injured. Causation, Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. That's you. And Right Way Protective Services on September 7th, 1996. I wanted to bring you these facts. This is the reason that they tried to take down my videos. I hadn't put the law to it yet, but I thought it was about that time. Because like I said, once again, they had used my content and I never, they were criticizing what I was saying. So under the copyright law 107, right? Under the fair use, I never thought to, do anything. I'm like, okay, I can accept that. You know what I mean? Because I understand the law and what it is. And I'm not going to abuse YouTube's copyright system because someone is saying something or might be criticizing something that I'm saying. They have a right to do that, right? But when I did it to Reggie the Rat Wright Jr., he felt like he can unilaterally, fraudulently go and use YouTube's system against me for the same reason that he used my content. I did the same thing under the criticism commentary part of the copyright law and where it would be fair use. But this is the reason why they did it. Because Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. knows that he was negligent in the death of 2Pac Shakur. And if it wasn't for his negligence, I believe that 2Pac Shakur would still be alive. There would have been no fight with Orlando Anderson. There would have been no need to retaliate.
See, the thing is, those guys, if you go back and watch the film, they was already stalking Pac. They were watching him. So that just took the iceberg when something happened. But there was a plan already to do something to him.
Yeah.
And that's why, like I said, I had two of the toughest guys for him, and Reggie pulled them off of me. And after it happened, I told him to send 5 guys from the club to there, and they never said nobody.
Your boy DELRAY, straight gang.